So today I'm going to be talking about the Olympic MVP ladder, and I do want to put in a caveat. I am talking about this before the America-Australia game. This video is going to be out while that game is going on, and this could completely change. A'ja Wilson could go and drop 40 and probably cement her MVP, but I think this is as accurate a list for MVP as we've seen. I think maybe Alana Smith, move her up above Marine Johannes, and that is your top 5. I think that's probably would be my list. As much as Marine Johannes, just some of the shots she takes are wild, I still don't think she deserves to be MVP over, or she deserves to be higher than Alana Smith. So this is the team basically this is the MVP ladder. And then a lot of people are really upset because if you look at the USA stats, so points per game, it's A'ja Wilson. She's averaging 20 points per game to Breanna Stewart's 18.5. She has better efficiency rating. She has more rebounds per game by quite a lot. And yeah, she has less assists per game, but if you actually are watching the games, A'ja's been great, by the way. This isn't like a knock on A'ja Wilson, but I've been watching these games. Like, Stewie's been way better. Stewie's shooting 73% from 2. 63%. So she's doing it on 2 less shots a game. As far as rebounding is concerned, defensive rebounding is the same. Whereas Stewie, they play a 4-out, 1-in. So Stewie's not going to be in positions to ever get an offensive rebound because she doesn't stand inside the 3-point line. And a little bit more assist-wise per game. But you're looking 3.5 turnovers per game. I don't even think that's the end of the world because it's skewed by you can skew turnovers in like a 4-game sample size because she had 1 bad game for her turnovers. And obviously plus minus A'ja is better. I'm watching these games. It's funny watching the games how that is very different than just being a box score watcher. Because if you looked at these box scores, you would think, I don't know, that Alyssa Thomas is playing badly. Alyssa Thomas, 41% from the field, 5 rebounds per game, 4 assists per game, 1.5 turnovers per game. You would think she isn't one of the X factors on this team, especially when you're looking at plus minus. You'd be looking and thinking that has Kyle Copper been minus? Jesus. But you'd be also, if you're looking purely at plus minus, what's it? Kelsey Plum's +8, but she's +7, but she's been really good. You'd be thinking Kelsey Plum is struggling. Shooting 71% from 2, 51% from field. I think Brittany Griner is one of their most impactful players. And it's funny because you're seeing her in the MVP ladder somewhere on it. And I think she deserves to be on it because Brittany Griner in her limited minutes has been an X factor. She's been a game changer for them. But if you're looking at this game solely through the lens of box scores, you're thinking, like, people are complaining. I'm seeing it that how is A'ja Wilson not number 1? Not only that, how is Emma Meesseman number 2? First of all, I think Emma Meesseman at this point, the only reason why Breanna Stewart is number 1 is because USA are going to win. But I think as far as individual players, Emma Meesseman has been better. Like, regardless of these stats, if you want to go purely off stats, she's been statistically, like, she's averaging 4.5 assists, nearly 7 rebounds, 25 points rounded up, and 30 efficiency, which I don't even know how to calculate efficiency. But if you're just watching the game, everything runs to her. She almost plays like a female Jokic. Everything's out of the high post. The efficiency of Emma Meesseman is unbelievable. Like, the way she's hitting her shots, and she is the number 1. Not only is she the number 1 option, she is the number 1, number 2, and number 3 option. Look at these percentages. Other than the Spain game, where she shot well from 3, I thought she was brilliant against Spain. Like, she put up 24 against Team USA on 60% shooting. And this is, again, not being surrounded by the best players in the world so that they can't double team you and they have to put you in single coverage, like teams have had to do to A'ja, who I did think was quite poor against Belgium. But it does show, because anyone watching this game will agree 100% with this, that right now, if A'ja Wilson just absolutely torches the semi-final and finals, she's MVP. Like, USA are not losing to Australia. If USA lose to Australia, that would be... A lot of people said that, yes, they would have been the most embarrassing loss in Team USA history. That Serbia team came second in the World Cup without Nikola Jokic. That was one of the better wins. That wasn't the best teams USA have ever faced, by the way. That Serbia team, the way they were playing, is one of the 3 or 4 greatest ever teams, non-USA basketball teams in the history of basketball. But this Australia team is just not very good. So I'm looking, and if A'ja Wilson kills it, she's going to be MVP. But this is completely correct. Stewie's been their best player by that much. Like, it's been a significant amount. But yet, if you're box score watching, I'm seeing people complain about A'ja, being like, how is A'ja number 2? This is some, like, conspiracy against A'ja. Look at her stats. She's not been as good. Like, just say it like it is. I'm watching the game. She's been their second best player. By the way, these two, their combination is nearly unstoppable. But Stewie is the player teams are focused on. Whenever USA go on one of those bad runs, it's Stewie that keeps them in it. When they go down 15-6 to start the game against Germany, Stewie has all 6 points. No one else scores. Like, when A'ja Wilson is hot, and in fairness against Nigeria, she can end the game. When she is hot, she can just win a game by herself. But what has happened with this Team USA team is A'ja Wilson started off very slowly in games, and USA have started off slowly. Other than, again, the Japan game, which doesn't really count. But it has really been Stewie in the games that really mattered against the better teams that has been making sure that they're within touching distance. And then once A'ja heats up, she's unguardable. She can win. She can take you home. Stewie's been sitting a lot in games. And if you look at her games, other than the Belgium game, where she played 35 minutes, and I thought she was like, she carried them. She absolutely carried USA in that game. She played 17 against Germany, almost all of it in the first half. And then she played 19 against Nigeria. They would just sit her for long periods of time. So, and if you're looking at A'ja, her minutes, she obviously played a lot against Belgium. She's playing 24, 25. So obviously her points are going to be up. So the team's winning games by enough that they can sit who's been their best player. But you also can't sit both of them if you're USA. You can't sit A'ja Wilson and Stewie. And they've been choosing to get Stewie her rest and let A'ja just go and cook. Which is fine, because I think as far as, like, Stewie's a little bit older, coming off and had an Achilles injury at some stage in her career, it's probably fine to choose to rest her. But the stats lie when it comes to MVP. And this ranking, I think, is... Obviously, it's only people that are still in the tournament. Linskins, outside of what I would say are the big... I think Alana Smith over Maureen Johannes is... Because Alana Smith deserves to be in the top 5. She's been exceptional for Australia. Sammy Whitcomb had Linskins, in my opinion. But I have no issue with this whatsoever. Absolutely no issue with this whatsoever. And again, if you guys are new to the old channel, or no, if you're not even new to the channel, if you guys want to look for NBA content, go subscribe, please, to the Mick Hoops channel. It will be the first link in the description. So that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.